Women in insurance are underrepresented. It's still more of a men's world out there. What advice do you have for women who are looking to climb the ladder to the next level in a male-dominated industry?
I think the most important thing is to develop an expertise in your craft. Right? So that is going to be the easiest way to get recognized, is if you're very good at what you do and you know it very well, like that's going to shine through. So you can't just bully your way, up the ladder. You have to really know what you're doing, and I think that that's the most important thing. I think developing strong internal relationships within the company is also really important. And if you can do that, also backed by an expertise, that will build a lot of respect around what you're attempting to do. And I think also it's important for women to be assertive, not aggressive. Aggression kind of can lead to, a standoffish relationship. People maybe don't want to come in as close, but if you're assertive, you're respecting yourself and the people around you. So I think that those are three important things to think about when you're trying to kind of move up the ladder.
If you could share one piece of advice to a young woman who's maybe just getting a diagnosis that she has ovarian cancer, what would that be?
I'm part of an amazing group. It's survivors teaching students and new patients who are recently diagnosed. And, I really want to give them hope. I want to give them, to be able to listen to their voice and understand that it's going to be difficult, but each day to find a new purpose to wake up to. So whether that's, surrounding yourself with positive people in your life, the importance of eating healthy, meditation, finding like your life is going to be different, but you can make it great. And if you keep positive things in your life, I feel like that is a key part of the recovery.
Domestic violence affects 1 out of 4 women. Those are alarming statistics. If you're watching this, chances are you might know someone who is being abused and not realize it. What are some signs to look for, Nicole?
Right, Megan, that's a great question, because there really are so many signs that folks can look out for. So, when we answer this question, it's important to keep in mind that relationships exist along a spectrum, right? There are healthy relationships, there are unhealthy relationships, and then there are abusive relationships. So to look for an abuser, to look for somebody who uses abuse in a relationship, we have to first of all keep in mind that abusers use abuse because it works. That's really important to remember, that this is an intentional pattern of power and control that's used within a relationship to kind of keep the other person off balance, to reduce their self-esteem, to really get what the abuser wants out of a relationship. So that intentionality really needs to be kept in mind. So what do we look out for specifically? Well, we oftentimes look out for folks who have big mood swings. So we call that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, somebody who might behave one way in person, or one way in private, I should say, and another way in public. We look for somebody who gets angry at the drop of a hat, just angry very quickly. We look for folks who use control. I mean, that's a big part of this, is somebody who uses control within a relationship, and oftentimes who tries to isolate you. So somebody who, it might start off at first as showering attention upon you and wanting to spend all your time together, but then it ends up with them not wanting for you to hang out with your siblings, or hang out with your family, or hang out with your friends, and really just have you all to themselves.
Social media can distort a lot, especially for young people.
Right.
And again, I mentioned I have daughters, that are becoming of age,
right.
And being in the beauty industry specifically. What can you tell women of all ages, ethnicities, and body types about body image and today's beauty standards?
So one thing that a lot of my guests can also agree with is I always tell everyone, if you want to get something done, if it's a service or a procedure or a treatment, you should do it. don't worry about any factor. I've heard it all. I've heard, oh, I think I'm too old for this. I don't know if it'll look good with my hair type. And I say, unless the service provider says that you may not be a good candidate for it, you should do it. I think we are too hard on ourselves, and there's a reason why you like the way something looks. You should be able to enjoy that as well. And a tip I would give to a lot of my guests is, if you're looking to get a service done and you want to be able to have a realistic expectation, try to find a service provider that has worked on guests that look like you. That's something that has helped me a lot.
How can becoming involved in golf help impact women in business? You and I talked about this before we started, a little bit about how I learned from my mother the importance of golf as a woman in business, someone who was in the lumber industry for 20 plus years, really took it seriously. So I'd love to hear from you, like, you know, that type of impact on women.
Yeah, it's a fact. Business is all about relationships, and relationships absolutely are created, strengthened, fostered out on the golf course. And many females don't even realize what they're missing out on or being held from. I like to say we're kind of held outside the circle, and those relationships and the camaraderie, and it just carries over, the networking that occurs and the projects that people are offered and get involved in once back at the office. Women are, as I said, they're just kind of missing out. And that's why I created, one of the main reasons I created On Par. And it's absolutely for everyone. I welcome men and women, but especially for women who have never had that opportunity before. It's a place where they don't feel intimidated.